In the 1990s, when Christy Kinahan established his drug dealing operation in Dublin, he was already well known to the police as a criminal, but almost no one outside of the local station had ever heard his name. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at the Irish Kinahan, the most ruthless cartel to ever exist. Yeah, you heard it right. Now, he's the leader of one of the world's largest criminal organizations, comparable to the Camorra and Los Zetas, according to American investigators, and his name is well known across continents. His Kinahan cartel, which includes his son Daniel and Christy Jr., is rumored to be worth £1 billion, with an operation that stretches from the cocaine plantations of South America to the inner cities of Ireland and the United Kingdom, via Spain's Costa del Sol and the glittering desert oasis of Dubai. Over the course of 3 decades, the Kinahans and their associates have been linked to drug smuggling, gun running, and murders, such as the infamous Kinahan-Hutch feud. The net, however, is tightening. Thomas the Bomber Kavanagh, their man in the United Kingdom, was sentenced to 21 years in prison for smuggling in March. In April, the US Department of State offered a $5 million reward for information on Christy Sr., Daniel, and Christy Jr. Johnny Cash Morrissey, an alleged bagman, was detained this week in Spain. Here, Mail Online explains who the Kinahan cartel is, what they're accused of, and how they rose from the streets of Dublin to become one of the largest and most powerful criminal organizations in the world. Christy Kinahan chose a life of criminality. He was not born into it. Raised by a middle-class family and educated at one of the finest schools in Ireland, he was intelligent, engaging, and had options. He chose to become a criminal. In the 1970s, he was known to police for burglary, theft, forgery, and property offenses, according to his criminal record. Not until the late 1990s did he enter the drug dealing operation that would make him famous. Kinahan initially ran an inner Dublin dealing operation with an old associate, Thomas Kavanagh, but harbored greater ambitions. During his time in prison for narcotics offenses in the late 1990s, he learned Spanish and Dutch, which he utilized upon his release to expand his business internationally. According to the US State Department investigators, he developed his business into an empire by importing drugs from South America and selling them in Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Europe. Sons Daniel and Christy Jr. were indoctrinated into the business, with Daniel accused by the Dublin High Court in 2018 of operating the majority of the day-to-day operations, which included arms dealing as well as drug trafficking across Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and South America. Christy Jr. reportedly manages the accounts. Daniel, who denies having any ties to organized crime, is also a boxing promoter who has represented Tyson Fury, among others. According to reports, he was instrumental in putting together a fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua that was supposed to take place last year, but ultimately fell through. Christy Sr. had run-ins with the law over the years, serving prison time in Belgium and the Netherlands. However, with the exception of a run-in between one of his associates and the Irish National Liberation Army, the gang operated with near impunity as the Irish Gardaí struggled to track the international operations. Gary Hutch, a member of the rival Hutch gang and cousin of gang leader Jerry, was murdered at his home on Spain's Costa del Sol in September 2015. Gary allegedly worked with Daniel Kinahan until they fell out over a scheme involving a tiger kidnapping, where criminals kidnap hostages and use them as leverage to force their target to conduct a crime on their behalf. Later proven false, rumors began to circulate that Gary was a Spanish informant. One of Jerry's associates reportedly consented to be shot in the leg as payment in blood for the alleged treachery in exchange for money. Gary was purportedly pleading for his life before being executed by hitman James Quinn, who has since been convicted of murder. This triggered a brutal and bloody gang war known as the Hutch-Kinahan feud, in which at least 18 people were murdered, the majority of whom were shot, over the next 3 years. By the time it was over, the majority of the Hutch gang had been laid to rest. 2 innocent bystanders were also slain due to identity confusion. In February 2016, Daniel Kinahan narrowly escaped an audacious attempt on his life that resulted in the death of David Byrne, a Kinahan associate, and sibling of Liam Byrne, one of the gang's most senior members. Daniel, in his capacity as a promoter, was present at the weigh-in for a boxing match between Jamie Kavanagh, whose father, Gerard Hatchet Kavanagh, was a gang enforcer, and Antonio Ju Bento, a Portuguese fighter. 6 Hutch gang assassins carried out a raid on the lobby of the Regency Hotel in Dublin as those involved in a struggle milled about. A getaway driver positioned himself outside the hotel while 2 others, one of whom was disguised as a woman and armed with handguns, guarded the entrance. Then, 3 men dressed in Gardaí riot gear burst through the door. Byrne was killed when 3 assailants armed with AK-47s opened fire in the foyer of the hotel. Daniel survived and subsequently stated that he had witnessed the rifles being pulled 20 feet away before narrowly escaping the gunfire. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.